Hey everyone, this week my packaging process hits a snag and I give a shout out to a viewer while I get orders ready to ship. I also make some soap for the first time in a long time and then try to recreate a very popular candle. Getting cozy this morning with my coffee. Those scrubs that I made in last week's video sold out in one day. Thank you so much to everyone who bought that scrub. I only made 8 jars. Everything that I make moving forward on this channel will be extremely small batch, just to give you an idea of how tiny these batches are. But with that being said, I think I want to release more things than just one item every week so that people can have a chance to try a variety of things or have at least a little bit longer to get their hands on at least one type of item. I think that's really doable for me during this time. I'll be able to manage that. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm not sure what those items will be exactly. I do want to make a candle. My good friend Jenny, she wants me to make more of those doll candles. They were strawberry shortcake scented and she's running really low on hers, so I'm gonna do that for her and make a couple extra so that you guys have a chance to try that out. I only had that candle available in the doll boxes. You couldn't individually buy them. That's gonna be done this week. I'm gonna get those packages, all those sugar scrubs are gonna be shipped today, hopefully. So I at least have a candle in mind. I'm thinking possibly a soap. It's Sunday morning. I'm just taking it a little easy to start my day off, and then I'll get right into it. I wanted to show you the super cool thing that I did. This is an orchid plant and I bought this to help stage my house, but I've kind of fallen in love with this guy a little bit. Orchids grow on trees and their roots are exposed to light. I'll let you guys know how well this orchid does being potted this way. This is some orchid medium at the bottom here, some bark. But this is an experiment. We'll see how it goes. For those who watched last week's video when I made these scrubs, I talked about how I try to go light on the mica because they darken over time. That definitely happened with this scrub here. These are a touch more purple than when I first made them a couple days ago. How they look now versus what they looked like when I first made them. And that is the type of color difference you should come to expect if you're using mica to color your sugar scrubs. I've been using this guy in the shower and it's amazing. I love it so much. The smell is so good. I use Lilac Prosecco by Kool-Aid Aromatique. Every time I take a shower using this foaming sugar scrub, I feel like I'm in a spa or something. It's just so wonderful, so nice, love it. And I'm excited for the people who order this to get it. To prevent possible leaking, I'm gonna tape this lid tightly to the jar using electrical tape. And to protect the glass of the jar, I'm gonna bubble wrap it. I instantly have a box. Oh my god, I just ran out of electrical tape. Look how much more I needed. Just this much more and I ran out. So annoying. So I have to go and grab that in order to continue my packaging, but this is literally the last jar I had to tape up. Oh man. I am so tempted to get one of these, but I know that I can't. But look at these beautiful plants here at the Home Depot. Must resist the urge to buy everything. Oh, cool. Look at these ones. Spring is here, guys. So I got this 10-pack of electrical tape from the brand Commercial Electric. And the reason why I like electrical tape is because you can very easily peel it off and it doesn't affect the product itself. It's pretty easy to use too. Tape can be so finicky, but I just really like the grip also of electrical tape. Oh man, after I tell them it's easy to use, it's the hardest to get it going. It's pretty reliable in terms of sealing things shut. And I notice when I get liquid things from suppliers, they're usually bound with electrical tape like this. And I know that some of you might think it doesn't look pretty. I'd rather have a product arrive intact and fine than to have that product leak all over everything because the lid fell off of it. So it's a give and take. With every order that I receive, I like to give a little sample. In this case, I'm giving away some samples of my soap. And I also like to give a personalized handwritten note to whoever buys my products. But on Etsy, there's an option to let me know whether or not this order is actually a gift. So in that case, I won't write a handwritten note, but I do still give them a little postcard so that they can get a little discount off if they choose to order from me in the future. But one of those orders that was marked as a gift is from Madison, who requested that I shout her out on this video. Thank you so much, Madison, for your order, and I hope whoever you're gifting this to really enjoys it. I know I've been enjoying this scrub in the shower. You guys are honestly so sweet. If you ever order for me and you want me to give you a little shout out on my YouTube channel, just let me know. There's an option on Etsy where you can write me a note for me to do that. And yeah, I don't have any problems with doing that. And whenever an order is marked as a gift, I do treat them a little bit differently, and I'll show you how in just a minute. So I'm here in my office and I wanted to point out this one thing because it actually made me make a mistake on my label and request a refund for it. All of my orders that I'm shipping today are from Etsy, and I remember looking at them through my phone, and one of them had a note, and it was the buyer requests. Here, let me read it off my phone exactly. Obviously I can't show you their address. There's a little note that says the buyer prefers this address over the USPS suggested one, and that was in my mind. But when I'm making the labels, I'm looking off of the Etsy website in order to create them because I like to copy and paste the address instead of hand typing them myself because that can cause errors in the data entry. And so I did all of the labels, and I remembered one of them had a buyer prefers this address versus what USPS suggests. And I realized that that note is only on the mobile app. It's not on here. So that's frustrating. So my suggestion is when you're doing your Etsy orders, make sure you're looking at both the Etsy app on your phone and also over there. Just read over all your orders and hopefully you remember, because I cannot find that note anywhere on their where I'm pulling up their order on my computer. That is so weird. Anyways, I had to request a refund for this buyer and redo it. So you can see these shipments are ready to go. These guys are going directly to the buyer, but Madison's, since it's marked as a gift, I like to put the box in an envelope like this so that when they receive it, it's a nice box and not something that they have to tear open and tear into. So this goes in here. I remove this sticky here and we seal it up. And I'll tape it further so that it's a better seal. This allows the recipient to be able to have a nice box when they open it up, or if it's going to Madison directly, then they can open it up and give this gift to their friend or family in a pretty box. So I have all of the packages dispatched, and now I have to bring them over to Chats to ship them to their various places. Most of them are actually from the States, which is really cool. I'm excited to get this task done because we have a busy week. It is a gorgeous day in Calgary today. I love it. We are here at Chit Chats couple months ago, I ordered a ton of fragrance oils from Brambleberry, and I didn't sniff them at the time because I wanted to keep them wrapped up in their electrical tape so that I could move them in one piece. But plans have changed since then. We are still in the process of trying to sell our house. So I thought I would unwrap those fragrance oils and pick one to make a soap for today. And after smelling them all, I'm stuck between these two, Camellia Sugar and Rose Gold. Rose Gold is a scent that I've been wanting to smell for a long time. I know that it's one of Brambleberry's best sellers. If you look up Rose Gold in the product listings, there's over 100 reviews from other people who've made soap using this and other products, and they all love it. And as I'm talking about this, I think I'm talking myself into using this for today's soap project. And when I finally smelled this, it's nothing like what I was expecting, and I'm not sure what I was expecting. When I think rose, I think of a very heavy floral, but this is special. Not sure how to describe it, but it's very bubbly and sweet, almost like Love Spell. That just popped up into my face. That's what? It smells very close to Victoria's Secret's Love Spell. So it has that fruity, bubbly, hint of floral kind of fragrance. It's hard to describe. All I can tell you is that when you smell it, you just love it. It's an instant wow. I can smell that all day and not get tired of it. This fragrance oil discolors to tan and CP, behaves well in cold process. So all of those things tell me that this is probably a good choice, and I can't wait to make soap for you guys. I was thinking that this fragrance oil would be a really great choice because of the season. Springtime is, I don't know, it just seems so feminine and flowers and just pastels. That's what I think of around this time of year. And we are inching closer and closer to Mother's Day. Both Kale's mom and my mother have their birthdays within a couple of days of each other, at the end of April and the beginning of May. So I'm making this soap as a gift for those wonderful women, and whatever extras that I have will be available for you to purchase on my Etsy page, which is linked down below. So I've measured out some coconut oil and some shea butter. I'm gonna melt this slowly over a double boiler, and once that's melted down, then we can add our soft oils to this. We have some olive oil. I like to use the Costco brand for my olive oil. Next we have hemp seed oil, and then some castor oil for bubbles. I like to add some kaolin clay for a nice slip. And I add that right to my oils so it can just soak up and disperse in there. And here's the soap mold we are using today. This is Winston & Walters, tall and skinny, but it's the 10 bar version. I think it holds about 2 to 3 pounds of soap. I need to double check on that, but these will create tall and skinny bars, which I love to make. I love that shape. It fits really good in my hand when I use soap in the shower. And that's the shape that's been the most popular with my customers as well. And I'm also gonna be using this for the first time. And this is the swirling tool that I purchased from Brambleberry. A few of you have told me in the comments of that video that I could just as easily use a gear tie, and it does the same thing as this for maybe a fraction of the cost. So if you don't want to buy this from Brambleberry, you can go search for a gear tie somewhere. I wouldn't know where to find one of those. Maybe Canadian Tire if you're Canadian. Basically, it will do the work that I used to do with my chopstick, which was make those beautiful swirls on the inside of my soap. I also have this mold here. I got this from IKEA a long time ago, but it's for any extra soap that I can pour in here to make little samples that I can include in my orders when I ship my orders out. I like to give away free samples with every order. That fragrance oil smells so good. I can't wait to have it in a soap. Let me know in the comments if you guys have tried Rose Gold from Brambleberry and whether or not you like it in cold process soap. Because according to the reviews, it's quite a good fragrance oil. My hard coconut oil and shea butter have thoroughly melted. I'm just gonna add this now to my liquid oils and let it cool down for quite a bit. I think maybe half an hour to an hour. I like to soap at around 100 degrees or lower. Anything above that, I get cracks, I get issues. So for me, I prefer to soap at a cooler temperature. And I think a lot of soap makers would agree with me that that's usually the way to go. It's the safest way to go in my opinion. I'm just gonna pour this into here. It's been so long since I've soaped and I love it. It's my favorite thing that I make, and whenever I go long periods without making soap, I always enjoy it when I get back on the horse. And I know I'm about to move at any moment, I'm not sure when, but I know that we're planning for a move, but I just want to cram in as much soap making as I can before I can't do it for a really long time. So we've got our oils here. We're gonna set this aside and let this cool down. Let's see what it is right now. Oh no, the battery on this is dying. What? I've had this for like 5 years and it's just now the battery's dying. Before I get into the madness of pouring the soap, I want to quickly talk about the colors that I'm using. I'm going to be using Bronze Mica by Fizz Fairy, Blush Mica, also by Fizz Fairy, and Wine Red Shimmer Mica. So it's going to have a pink base and have swirls of red and white and a white titanium dioxide swirl. And because it can get chaotic, I like to open up the micas before. Ooh, I never used this one, so I have to take off the seal here. And we have both the lye water and my oils underneath 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right to it. First, we're gonna pour the lye water. So I've poured half of the soap into this container. I'm gonna add my base color, which is that Blush Mica. Look how gorgeous that is. I'm gonna use about this much to get a soft pink shade. And I'm gonna pour about half of my fragrance oil into here. I'm gonna pour this into my mold. I'm gonna pour the rest of the mica, or sorry, pour the rest of the fragrance oil into the rest of the soap. Give it a stir so that it's thoroughly incorporated. And we are going to split it into 3. So in the largest one, I'm gonna make that my gold color using that bronze mica. And then the smallest one, I'm gonna add my red. And then the last one, I put in my titanium dioxide, and I didn't disperse it in oil, so it'll be interesting to see how this turns out. I usually dispense it in a little bit of hemp seed oil first, but oh well, forgot. So we're just gonna add it straight in there, and then we're gonna blend. Gorgeous. There's the gold color, there's the red color. Oop, white. Going like this. I think that's good. I don't know. The pink set up a little bit, so I think I'm gonna just break up the pink and get those colors in there. Here's the rest of that gold. Let's see, a little bit of that white for my topping later, and then the rest of this red. I'm not really sure how to do this. I don't know if I'm overdoing it or not. I have no idea, guys. Looks like it's still kind of fluid, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. Okay, we're getting there. So see, when I can make a very distinct wave, that's when I can proceed with the next steps. Well, I will say, so far this soap has behaved gorgeously with that fragrance oil. I got pretty much 0 acceleration. The soap just feels really nice. Just kind of breaks up the weird lines. I know some people don't like the idea of using botanicals in soap, and I think these big botanicals are a good answer to that because you can easily pull them off before you use the soap if you are worried about them clogging up your drains, as opposed to all the little mini buds and petals that can be really messy to clean up in the shower. Some of these buds have yellowed, which I think goes really well with the rose gold theme because the roses have yellowed with age. Some of them are still nice and pink, like this one. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. I only did on one side. It's hard to stop. Oh, totally missed there. See that? Gotta work on my aim. I'm gonna do the other side too. Let's just do it. I'm gonna set it aside and let it harden, and then I will cut it tomorrow. I only made 10 bars of this, but I feel like I should have made at least 20. I can make 10 more bars if I need to, but look how beautiful this is. I love it. It's ready to cut. It is the most intoxicating blend of roses and maybe some citrus in there, but it has a very clean scent. Like it's a typical clean, fresh soap scent, but it's different at the same time. It's hard to explain. Look at how that bronze mica gives it that perfect rose gold sheen to it. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to cut into this. I don't know if you guys noticed when I made this is a palm-free recipe. My original soap recipe, I added palm to it to make it harder, but I don't know, I think I liked my conditioning recipe more. Here's the first slice. That is beautiful. So here is the soap. It is so pretty. I could not have asked for it to turn out any prettier. It is verging on the dreaded meat soap, where it kind of resembles a slice of meat, but I think, I don't know, I'm on the borderline of it. I think the rose and the mica sheen save it, as well as the orange gold swirl. But it's very close. And you can see that the red mica actually stayed red in the soap. This is one of the end pieces of the loaf, and you can see how the swirling tool really managed to give this bar a nice swirl, whereas if I used my metal chopstick, it wouldn't have been as nice of a swirl. So I definitely think that the swirling tool did its job. And you can see here what it looks like when you take a spoon and cut into the soap. It helps to break up the bottom layer so that you can get more of the swirl down to the bottom of the soap, and it creates that interesting piece down there that's separate from the upper portion. Oh man, look at that. That is just so pretty. I'm finally replacing this battery, and the reason why I am replacing it today, well, other than the fact that I need to, is because I plan on using it today for today's project. A month and a half ago, I made this candle. I called it doll face at the time, but it was scented in strawberry shortcake, and it was only available with my other doll face products. It was a themed box that I based around Megan the doll, and that sold out pretty instantly, but I was able to give one of my friends just the candle. Well, she's since run out of it, and she's dying for me to make more, so I'm gonna do that for her. But because I normally don't just make 1 or 2 candles at a time, I'm gonna have some extra, which I will be putting up for sale on my Etsy. So if you're one of those people that messaged me after the launch, upset that you weren't able to get your hands on any of those products, you will be able to grab a candle with that same fragrance. But I'm gonna be making it just a little bit differently. I made that candle pink using pink liquid candle dye. And today's candle, I'm gonna try out these solid dye blocks that I got from Fizz Fairy. This is in the shade Purple Pink Wax Dye. I don't know exactly the shade I'm gonna get with this, which is why we're experimenting here, but I think it should be pretty straightforward. You add a little bit of this to your wax and you got yourself a pink candle. The fragrance oil will be the same. this is Strawberry Shortcake by Mo Rouge Canada, another amazing fragrance oil company whose owner is fantastic. It smells so good. Today's candle is gonna be a cocoa apricot wax candle, and I'm using this one from Mo Rouge. I personally really like this wax. It's very easy to work with. We have the wax here in this candle pouring pitcher, And the way I like to melt this when it's in this pitcher is through a double boiler slow melt method. But before I do that, I'm actually gonna add the dye chips to this wax so that everything melts all together. There are some handy instructions on here. It says, to easily dye a batch of candles, melt as little as 1 gram of dyed wax with your desired amount of candle wax. Add more dye as needed to achieve a deeper, more rich color. That's exactly what I was going to do. I think this much will be enough. I don't know. I'm gonna add one more. If it turns out to be like a deep fuchsia because I've added too much, then that's the candle we're gonna get. And while that is melting down, we are going to be doing a little bit of prep. We're gonna pour our fragrance oil so that it's ready to add to the wax once it's melted, and we are going to wick our jars and get those ready for when we are ready to pour the wax. For my candle jars, I'm using these sturdy, high quality glass jars. They are 8-ounce jars with a black metal lid. And you'll see these jars used a lot by a lot of candle companies, and the reason is because they make a really great container candle. I'm going to be using these L16 wicks from Can Wax. Put it on the bottom of the wick, press down, pull, and then stick it to the bottom of these jars. And they have this number here right in the dead center. I don't know if it's picking it up. It's kind of blurry. You can see it there. That is where you're aiming when you're sticking your wicks to the jar. You want it to be dead center. I give it a good hard tug. I let it hang like this sometimes a little bit. So this is what we have so far, and just looking at it, I can tell that it's gonna be really pale. I'm gonna add this size of a chunk in. So I added some more dye block, but if you wanna see what the color is gonna look like, you can dip a spoon into the wax and that will harden it pretty quickly. And as it cools down, just scrape the wax off. And that should give you an idea about the color of the candle. And this is pretty pale, but I think I like that. I think I want a more pastel pinky color because I feel like the other candle was a very intense dark pink, and this seems really nice. This is actually the color I was trying to go for with the other candle. So I think we're there in terms of color. See, it's that gorgeous pink color. And now we just have to add our fragrance oil. Just over here, and I'm gonna stir for about 2 minutes to allow the fragrance oil and the wax to combine. I'm just really curious to see how this wax is gonna look once it's cooled off. So some time has gone by, and these are the solidified candles, and they're the most gorgeous shade of pastel pale pink. I felt like I used more than a gram, which is what Fizz Fairy recommended when using those dye chips. I think I might have used 2 grams to get this shade, and according to them, if you use a little bit more, it gets deeper if you want a deeper, more purple pink color. But I think the main takeaway was how easy they were to use. Really, really great glass adhesion. I've noticed that amongst my coconut apricot wax candles, they don't have those big wet spots that you would find in some candles. The size of these labels are 2 inches by 2 inches, and they are the white labels, white glossy laser labels from Online Labels. And just put this right on the glass. And there you go. You have a gorgeous candle. I like putting the warning label on the back. This is the color that I was trying to get with the liquid candle dye. And this pastel pink is gorgeous and perfect for springtime. And here is the lid. Beautiful. If you guys want the steps on how to recreate this candle for yourselves, I have that on my Patreon, which is linked down below. If you don't want to bother with that, if you just want this candle, I only have 3 available. 2 of the 5 that I've made are already promised to my friend Jenny, so we just have these 3, and once these 3 are sold, then they're gone. But don't worry, I will be posting my small projects up on my Etsy pretty often. I'm gonna try 2 products a week, and Friday will be the release date of those products. Remember, they're gonna be extremely small batch, so favorite the shop to see when I upload so that you can get your hands on these products when they are available. So linked down below, you'll find this candle and the rose gold soap that I made earlier on in this video. That's all on my Etsy. As always, thank you to everyone who watches my journey every single week. You guys are absolutely awesome. I love all of your comments and all of the sweet messages that you have sent to me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I think we are really, really close to the house saga coming to an end. So stay tuned for next week where I update you guys on what's going on. I think it's gonna be good news. So until then, fingers crossed, and I will see you next week. Bye guys. She just loves napping on that couch. It's almost her dinner time.